Good evening. Thank you for taking a few moments with me in the Word today. You know, as we're looking at what the Lord is doing this year, one thing that I know, and I've been telling you this, is our Father has it in His heart to strengthen and to increase the places that He's already opened to us previously, really in this last year, but previously. And it's also in His heart to open new doors of influence for us to serve in, because what He wants to do is He wants us to carry the glory of God into these places of influence and to carry it greater than we ever have before. He wants our communities to prosper because of His glory. And we will reveal Him to our communities because we've spent time with Him in the secret place, loving and being loved and listening to His voice. Because we'll only say what we hear Him say and do what we see Him do, flooding our communities with the love of the Father. But it's more than that time that we spend in that secret place with Him, but it's walking aware of His presence with us. You know, in Exodus chapter 34, if you would look over there, Moses would go in and speak to the Father face to face. Then he would come out carrying the presence of God with him, and he would speak to the people. We don't just see that in the Old Testament. We see this in the New Testament also. Listen to this out of Acts chapter 5, verse 14 and 15. And I believe I'm reading it out of the Passion. It says, continually, more and more people believed in the Lord and were added to their number. Great crowds of both men and women. In fact, when people knew Peter was going to walk by, they carried the sick out to the streets and laid them down on cots and mats, knowing the incredible power emanating from him would overshadow them and heal them. What was it that was emanating? But it was the presence of our Lord. Peter, he spent time in the secret place, but Peter also was able to release what he was aware of, the presence of the Lord being with him. And the people drew on that presence. You know, we see this in Jesus too. Remember when Jesus and his disciples, they got in the boat and they were to go to the other side? Jesus, who is always aware of his Father, the God of peace, was sleeping in peace in the back of the boat, and a storm rose. And when the storm arose, well, obviously, the disciples were not aware of the Prince of Peace. And they went and they woke up Jesus. And Jesus stood up. And what he was carrying, who he was aware of, this peace, he released, and the storm ceased. And see, this is what God's wanting to do with us in our communities. As we are in these places of influence in our communities, there's storms all around. People who are in distress, schools that are in distress, businesses that are in distress. And our Father, he wants us to walk in awareness of who we are and who is with us, and allow him to be released, the glory to be released in these places, and the storms cease, and the glory of God be revealed, and we change our communities and see our communities prosper. I love you. I'm excited about what we're walking in, what God has given us, and I look forward to being with you on Friday.